Now the unit we'll be using for this test today is the White's TDI. It's a very good all-purpose metal detector, probably the best there is, especially here in Australia with the really tough goldfield conditions. It needs to be able to balance out some pretty severe ground. And this is about as bad as it gets. Looks pretty good, but the ground is extremely mineralized. Hi, we're at the goldfields today for a specific reason. I'm going to show you the difference between a VLF and a pulse induction. Now the pulse induction is purposely made to pick up, and a lot of people don't know this, but gold nuggets are actually very non-conductive. Things like steel, aluminium, copper are far more conductive. So to find gold in these areas is very difficult for manufacturers to achieve. And I'll show you how they do this. Have a look at this White's metal detector for starters. Now I'm just going to turn this metal detector on and use it how I would use it on the beach. Is simply just turn that on, sensitivity right up high, threshold is on. Now there is no filtering going on here, so it's going to respond to everything. Now, that would normally work brilliantly in the beach or in the park, but because we've got high mineralization here, it's responding very badly. Now, the way that the manufacturers overcome this is by using a filter system. Now, this one has a manual filter system. And I'll show you where that is. They call it GEB, or ground exclusion balance. Now if you turn that on and use that to balance out the ground, you can nullify that effect. It's still responding, so I'm going to turn it up. And try that. Actually it went the wrong way. Hear how it's responding negatively. So I'm going to turn that down. Slightly positive. Okay. So I'm going to go in between. Hopefully it's balanced. Okay. Ground exclusion balance is now working. The filter system is doing its job. It's filtering out the high mineralization. Therefore, anything metallic underneath will stand out. It will not recognize the mineralization in the soil. Have a listen. That's actually a target. That's a fairly big target. I'm not going to dig it up here because this is an area I'm not allowed to be in. And I don't want to do any damage to the area. There's another target there. My point is that the detector is now balanced. Now this detector uses a manual ground balancing. The Minelab detectors actually use an automatic ground balancing. It samples the ground and adjusts itself automatically. So it tunes itself as it goes. This one, you just tune it once and away you go. You tune it to the type of area. Now there's another signal here. Another big signal. That's actually a coin, I can tell by the sound. Couple of coins. I'm listening for a gold sound. It's got a very specific noise. No. That's it. Hear that? That's what gold sounds like. I like the Minelab detectors because they automatically balance and adjust. They use a computer control to automatically adjust, so there is no depth loss. With this one, you have a slight amount of sensitivity. As soon as you go into gold mode, you lose a little bit of sensitivity. Both these two have a very similar operating principle. High-powered pulse induction, which I recommend for the goldfields. If you use the VLF detector here, it simply would not work, or it would be going off all the time.
There it is, you got it.
Sweet.
That's it, hang on.
Pass it to Jacob.
Hang on. No, I want to do this one, hang on. Is it a gold nugget?
Yeah, it has to be. Just how big is it? Yeah.
It is.
It's shiny.
Yes.
Shining.
Hang on. It's a gold nugget.
In a jar it goes. First of hopefully a few.
Now I'm going to make a special mention for this metal detector here, the GP series or the GP3000. Now when this detector was released, it was actually a game changer. Not so much this detector, but the 2200, the GP2200. Now before that, all we had was VLF detectors, and you had to dig up many hot rocks because they all sounded like a piece of gold. So you might spend half your day digging up a pile of hot rocks thinking that they're gold, and if you're lucky you'll get a gold piece. Now the one thing that really changed the game with these detectors, and I'll just show you. I'll go around to the other side. See that button there? Fixed and tracking. Now when you switch that over to tracking, they will automatically sample the ground, so you can go over the most mineralized soil heavily laden with hot rocks, and it will simply computer control over the whole thing and still pick out a gold nugget. It even works well on the beach. It adjusts itself to the wet and dry sand. Mind you, there's a setting on the other side which you can switch over for beach mode. I have seen Darren dig out gold rings 2 feet deep with that coil.
See how it says handmade? Never found anything like that before in my life. Look at the beautiful cuts on that huge ass natural ruby. Look at the size of that ruby. That's possibly a real one. Not synthetic, real. Not one scratch on it, immaculate. Look at the way it goes through the sun. Look at all them angles. I kept missing it, and I was just about ready to give up. I thought it was a piece of metal debris. It was that deep. Look at the shovel. That was the last scoop that I got out. So today's been paid off after all.
And it has an incredible sweep, so you can cover a lot of ground real quick and deep. If there's any gold rings out there, this will find it. Now, although this detector is a plain old VLF, it has got a couple of features which I really like. One is automatic tracking, which is on automatic tracking now. But the really big feature, and the one thing that makes this type of detector in a class above the pulse inductions, is this. Have a listen to the response of a coin. Nice clear response. Now have a listen to a bottle top. It actually goes quiet. Now imagine you can go to an area that's full of junk and skip every bottle top and pick out rings and coins. One like this. Another one over here.
You're kidding. Oh, you're joking me. That gold bug, everything it finds is worth more than a bloody unit.
That is a massive bonus. Who cares about the depth? Most of the items are found pretty shallow anyway. We're out on the beach today with this new mine lag Equinox. Now, unlike most metal detectors, unlike the Mine Lab, the Whites and the Fisher Gold Bug, this is more of your digital metal detector. In other words, instead of giving a measured response to a signal, it will either give a yes or a no. And it's got a computerized control to tell you when an item is worth digging or not. So we're going to be putting this metal detector to the test and see just how good and how well it performs under normal conditions. We're going to start off with this very small gold ring. Now I've got a piece of string around it. That's actually a piece of fishing line around it in case we do lose it. Okay, we'll see how deep it is. Alright, we've got about 10 inches. I'll just fill that in. Now I know if we get a reading of below 0, it's supposed to be ferrous or rusty steel. Now it should give a positive signal, should be somewhere between 15 and 30. Let's have a look. Alright, it's given a reading of between 14 and 16. Now to many detectors that appears to be exactly like a gold ring. Very few detectors can tell the difference and very few people can tell the difference. But this whole area is absolutely littered with these, and unless you can discriminate against these effectively, you're going to be flogging your ass trying to find something good for a while. So let's see how deep this is and see what difference it makes in the ground. Just lie that nice and flat, and we've got about 11 inches here, sorry. That's inches there, that's centimetres. Got about 11 inches. Now we're coming up to the gold ring. Now anything below a 0 is supposed to be ferrous or rusty steel. Now to the gold ring, that's giving a reading of 14. Now here's the bottle top. The bottle top's giving a reading $14. Okay guys, we've got a signal here. It's giving me 11, 12. Just have a look. Okay. Try pinpoint. Right, I know where it is now. Dig it up, see what it is. I think I can see it. Yeah. Tiny little sinker. So you can't even really tell what size the item is. And this is Maryse State Forest. Let's just go and have a look what that sign says. This whole area has a huge history of large gold nuggets weighing many ounces, and some of them kilograms. Maryse Historic Reserve. Right, that's the home of the welcome stranger. The 78 kilogram nugget was broken into many pieces on an anvil by a blacksmith. Now look at the size of these potholes. It's like the bloomin' lunar surface. The nugget, should it be found in 2013, would have been worth $3,766,000. Yeah.
You want a story?
Yeah.
I was actually going to just completely ignore it because you're all the way over there, but... here's the GP 7000, and I always was disillusioned about this. See the side of the digging that I dug out? I remember something you told me when I was really young, that if you ever dig in the side of one of them out, to make the gold will always roll down the bottom and you'd be screwed. So I set myself up sort of a little bit of a flat spot down below, so if it did fall down there, it would settle without dropping all through the grass and maybe losing it. I'm not thinking it'd be a gold nugget, but ta-da! Don't know what's going on here, but I think young Samuel might be a bit of a good luck charm. He's walking up to me right just then. Third signal, and I think I got gold. No, it's down here. It's looking good, but I'll wait for you to start recording, man.
Yeah, I'm recording now.
What have we got?
There.
Oh, the rock!
No, it was in there just before, wasn't it?
Is it clear?
Oh, is it? Oh, man.
Oh, that's a big carrot.
That's like, look at that, very close. Oh, you ripper.
Third target. How's that?
Oh, boy.
What have we got?
Big deep hole as well.
Holy crap! They're ready to fall apart.
18 or 20 carat, isn't it? That's got to be 18. At least.
She's got stamps on it, but they're
Tiny?
tiny. She's heavy though.
Heavy?
Thumbs up! Woohoo! Sweet! As you walk up, mate.
Over in the fields we're getting a lot of brass old items underground, but closer to the man-made disturbances we're getting more junk. It's pretty obvious what's happening here. Let's keep away from the man-made structures and stick to the historical parts. Okay, there's an interesting signal here. It's telling me it could be a coin or a ring. Now I'm assuming that it's going to be a coin, but it might not be. It might be a bullet case. It might even be a hand grenade, because we've got hand grenades here before. So we're going to dig it up live on camera, and hopefully we won't get a live hand grenade. Right, the idea is to first cut the soil. Jesus. So you can put it back later on. Oh, that's a lot easier said than done, especially when you've got rocks underneath. Right, now you've got a clod of grass. You can put that back later. Right. Now let's have a look. Okay, it was a shallow signal, so that's not a good sign.
Yeah, well, there's brass nails.
Are they? Okay. Oh, hang on a minute.
What is it?
It is a good signal.
Yeah,
it is just
$2.
yeah, it's a modern coin,
Oh.
but it was very shallow. Alright, we're after the old coins, so I don't mind these. You know, 10 of these and you've got $20, so, and you can dig up 10 of those in 10 minutes if you're in the right spot, so could pay off.
Nice. Should have been a much louder signal than that. The old barrel did World War II. I'm really shocked that that's still down there. I should have been picked up ages ago. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's got their screw tops for some old barrels or something apparently.
Hey, you know what I like about this? It's actually made of brass. So that's not a piece of crap, that's solid brass. There's a good piece of history here. That's really heavy. And it looks like we've found a few signals in the same spot, so we could be on a bit of a, maybe a dumping ground.
This whole place is just littered with stuff everywhere. I don't know why. MA cartridge. Be quiet.
They're fairly common around here.
Yeah. Most of them are being picked out. I do know that.
Don't know what calibre that is.
Still in the hole.
Dug it out.
Oh, there's a coin.
Where?
Oh, there. Please be a wheat penny. It is a wheat penny. American coin. Sweet.
Cool, we don't often get American coins here.
Yeah, 1 cent United States of America, and it's a, don't know, but that's cool. I've been over here plenty of times with my other detectors and other people and groups of people, and this place is supposed to be cleared out. The Equinox, thumbs up, hey. The Equinox. Actually, both detectors heard that. So,
Yeah, actually this one found it.
Yep.
And this one confirmed it.
must be the wet soil. Let's make this plug nice and neat.
Oh. That's what you're supposed to do on people's lawns.
Yeah, some people like to use a cloth too, so you can capture all the dirt and put it all back in the hole, but as long as you leave most of it connected and you're nice to people that come along and say good day, be polite to them and you don't upset them. Yeah.
Cool, we got a wheat penny. My digging implement broke, so I'm now doing the recording.
is out, it's not good.
It's shallow.
Huh, cute. Very interesting number. That's a unique number on the sign, that one.
Darn heavy. I reckon it's made of brass.
Don't know.
Gave a good signal.
There's a unique number, that one to itself.
Now, we're at a little site here. It's an old military site. Now, I know that because we're getting trench art items. I'm pretty sure that's a ring. Not sure what that is. And we're getting these bullet casings. And I've actually found one close to the surface. Have a look. It's down here somewhere. There it is. These are actually in pretty good condition, so we can clean these up and keep them as part of the relics that we're collecting. And there's a beach at the very end of this walk path. Now, you get a lot of coins along these walk paths, but sometimes you get a lot of bottle tops as well. I'll just show you this beach. It's actually fairly What I'm going to do now is start zigzagging up and down the beach and look for more pockets. You can see there's a lot of people on the beach. Take a look. And the surf is pumping, so a lot of people are going to be losing their necklaces and sunglasses and coins, pockets of coins, rings, you name it. Sometimes when you're out metal detecting, you'll find these really old items. They're broken. That's an old gold locket. I can tell because it's not green. 9 carat gold stays reasonably in good condition over the years, but it's broken. Not very heavy, but it could be a good sign that there's better items around. If that was brass, that would be completely green and probably deteriorated beyond recognition. This is actually a really old park. It's around about the time of the first settlers. There's a lot of bottle tops here, but come and have a look at this beach. All the coins that get eroded go down towards the shoreline. What have we got in here? Looks like a $2 coin. Found with the Mine Lab Explorer. Still picks up the bottle tops. A lot of coins are coming down from that section there. And they're winding up here. No, it's only $1. Actually, my new favourite hunting spot around these rocks here. Just last week I found a nice ring around that area. Right there. Alright, as you can see, that's saying it's a ring or a coin, but it's not. I'll show you what it is. These are actually really common around here because we are right next to a boat ramp. And you get a lot of fishermen out here. Now these parks have native trees, undisturbed native grass, and a lot of the sinkers and heavier items are settling right about there. And if you look in the water, you'll see why we're getting sinkers. But, sometimes you get rings in that spot too. That's why we're going to go down there and have a look. As you can see, it looks completely different when you get down here. Just trying to figure out what that is. Did make a noise. I'll ignore it. Normally that's where the heavier items gather, but today it's just light stuff. You can see the tracks where I've been, but also just take note, there's a little low spot there, quite a large low spot actually.
Over to the other mode. And it still doesn't tell you it's a bobby pin.
Yeah, you have to get a double signal for a bobby pin, and only if you go the right way.
No
Bobby pin. Speak of the devil and he appears. Okay guys, have a look at this. Have a look at this. Sometimes you're digging up rubbish, and these, and right next to it, now that might only be a golden earring. It's pretty high carat gold by the looks of it. But that also means this entire line could be full of rings. So we've just had a storm, so we'll check it out and find out. Alright, just about 4 meters down, come and have a look at this. I got a pair! Oh dear. I don't wear earrings, so I'll have to give them away. Sometimes after a storm you'll get a kind of a gutter forming, or what I call a gutter. You can just see most of the light stuff and some of the slightly heavier stuff runs along that gutter, or just up on this edge, on the left end edge of it. To commemorate the Toorbul Point Combined Operations Centre and the many allied personnel who engaged in amphibious training exercises here during World War II. So that gives you an idea of the kind of things you're going to find in there, like badges, buttons, coins, bullets, spent cartridges, and you can find them all in the fields there, especially on the low tide. Sometimes you'll even get rings on the low tide. Let's go and have a look. Usually if there's a bit of a cove, you'll find the heavier rings and coins in the middle. But there's not a cove here. So if there's any rings and heavy coins, they'll all be spread out along a line. Probably around about this line here, the high tide mark and the low tide mark. It's right there, right there. Oh yeah. Oh, what in place is this there? It's a pretty big signal. Oh no! Oh no! It's a can! Oh, hey, check this out. The last signal, got that. That's stainless steel, so that's worth repairing. And bullet casing. That's so old, it's deteriorated. That's from probably World War II. I'll clean that up and have a look at it. And there's a beach at the very end of this walk path. Now you get a lot of coins along these walk paths, but sometimes you get a lot of bottle tops as well. Just show you this beach, it's actually fairly hard to run. We've had heaps of people reporting the lost bracelets and watches and glasses and rings, and I've got a good signal here, guys. Check this out. It's been really rough surf lately. Bit deeper than I thought. Bingo. Alright, that's either white gold or silver. But I know there's been some yellow gold stuff lost this morning, so we'll just keep going and see what we can get. Good find, but I've got a pretty good signal here. It's making the right sound. We'll dig it up live on camera, see what it is. No. False alarm. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh! No, not a false alarm at all. Check that out. So that just goes to show, never give up. Sometimes you think it's rubbish, and it's not. It's a gold ring, just when I least expect it. I'm not going to go too close, I'm actually getting wet. God damn it.
Camera wet. Careful. That's
cool.
Pretty good. That's a start.
What have you found?
I was digging some holes, getting some heavy winds. It's a bit cold because it's windy, and these things are washing up all these rocks at a popular beach. It gets done all the time. The second signal, gold-plated watch, still works, but you can see the plating's coming off it. But there might be some nice things to be found here today. These winds are pretty cool. Still works, that's the correct time this morning. So yeah, I don't know if it's a good brand or not, but it looks well built.
Yeah, it's a good watch.
Good old Equinox.
Holy mackerel.
Don't know what she is. I think it's gold, eh? White gold. Rather nice. Sweet. I can't see no stamps on it for the visuals, but I see yellow coming through the back here, which is where all the scratches. And yeah, that's what happens with white gold, 18 carat or 9 carat.
Yeah,
It's heavy.
Loses the rhodium plating.
Yeah. Grip are fine. Look at the diamonds, miss. Yeah, she's like, whatever.
Holy mackerel,
You
that
want to
has
quickly
got
show
some...
me how to check the silver on this? What do I click over? Let's have a look.
How'd you go?
Well, fourth hole I dug, 2 10 pegs, couple of penny stuff. Fourth hole about 18 inches down. This little 18 carat ring. Don't know what the stone is, but it has got a stone in it. And the stamp you can see has been completely knocked out. Where it's been resized, you can see it's been resoldered by gold. I don't know if you can see that. There might be a stamp there, seems to be markings, but I can't read it with my eyes.
It's got to be 18 carat because it's not deteriorated.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's nice and heavy, so hopefully everyone can find something pretty cool today.
Yeah, we got a few other guys out here today. I'll just give you a quick look. It's also a bit windy today.